Well, October and November are some of the best times to come to Lake Powell, and so we loaded up the boat and headed down. Hey, I'm Adam Meikle, and thanks for tuning in. Yeah, the reports lately down here are that the striper fishing has turned on. So we grabbed a few buddies, grabbed a few rods, some lures, and we headed down. It's beautiful down here. Short sleeve, I'm loving it. But the goal of this trip is to fill the freezer, or at least the cooler, with fillets.
I do have a tip for you viewers. If you ever go anywhere with Adam, make sure you drive your own car. He listened to Taylor Swift all the way down. And I'm telling you, in addition to that, he was singing along. I mean, it was awful.
I knew every word.
Yeah, he knew every word. So just a warning.
I'm a Swiftie.
My buddy Brad is the one who introduced me to winter Powell fishing about 2 decades ago, and I've been coming down ever since.
So we're headed north, up by Good Hope Bay. We've heard good reports up there. If you're coming down to Lake Powell, the first place you should check before you come down here, before you're coming fishing, is wayneswords.net. There's a lot of good guys on there that'll give you up-to-date reports on the striper fishing. You know, as many of you already know, this is an unlimited resource. There's too many stripers in Lake Powell, so we're on our way up to save some shad. Long ways to go, about 25 miles.
It was back in September during a hydroacoustic survey that biologists found above average numbers of shad in Lake Powell, the primary food source for striped bass.
Bump, you get him? Fish, oh!
That's $100 fish.
Yeah, where's the razor blade? Anybody got a razor blade?
Have you seen my netting skills?
High numbers of shad mean hard fighting and healthy striped bass for anglers.
I don't care how you cut it, this is fun.
Yeah, oh yeah.
This is fun.
Oh yeah.
At least I was willing to help net a fish.
Yeah.
Whoa, keep him out of the motor. Hard fighting. That's good
Now
to
it was
see.
$100, right? Hey, almost.
Almost.
Did you control your fish? I'm trying to control it.
That's a healthy striper. Nice one.
Fun.
There you go, congratulations.
That's fun, thank you. That's a healthy fish and a good fighter. Excellent.
Scissors are there. Where's the pliers? So we always cut their gills so they bleed out. There we go. Go catch another. We've tried spooning, we've tried grubs, swim baits, and it's a slow bite so far. So we're gonna throw on some deep diving Rapalas and just some lures that'll hopefully attract them in this off-colored water and get our speed up to about 4 miles an hour and see if we can troll some up. So we're putting some planer boards on. We're only in about 30 feet of water, so a lot of times you're gonna go over these fish and spook them. So the planer board, obviously, just like you do when you're kokanee fishing, it gets the lure out 30, 40 feet away from the boat. And been pretty productive in the past.
We're fishing in 30 to 40 feet of water and trolling lures that dive 15 to 20 feet deep. The bite at times is fast and furious.
That rod's got one. Planer board.
Both of them do. We got a double.
Okay, grab that one. I'm gonna take care of.
This one's hit too.
Okay.
This one was hit too.
Triples?
Triple.
Oh, nice. Oh no.
I don't know, this one got off.
Okay, we'll get over here and get this one then. Put that one back. I'll take care of the boat. What lure is that?
This is a flicker minnow, a flicker shad, number 7.
Yeah. Works at Willard, works at Lake Powell.
Yep.
Oh, this is a nice fish too.
Take your time with him. Got him. Okay.
Not too bad.
Not bad. Yep. That's another good one. Got him. Doubled. That's a tank. Woo! Look at all the bait that just came in. Oh, there's another one. Oh, this is a good one. Whoa! This one's stripping line. This is a heavier fish. Wow.
Day 2, and we're back just above Good Hope Bay. We pulled over for a quick pit stop in about 50 feet of water when our graph lit up with schooling stripers.
We got the whole screen is just loaded with fish. Look at that. Doubles, Brad's on. Get in, yep, get in. We'll cut them later. These are bigger fish. Whoa! Just get it down there. You're gonna get a fish on the drop. Watch your line going down. Whoa! That is, look at the screen. Fish on the front.
I was jigging and it just stopped, and so I knew to set the hook. That's a keeper there. Wow. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That's a two-hander. Just a nice fish. Oh, you.
That's a healthy fish.
Oh baby.
That's a fatty.
That's a nice one.
I'm on be a walleye.
Walleye. Is it really?
Yeah. You got one too?
Mine's a little smaller. Brad, why can't can you fillet that one up for me? Oh, he got one. You're doing it good, Carl.
A little better than that little one of Adam's.
We can fillet that.
That'll eat, won't it?
So we're seeing lots of different age classes here, at least 2 to 3 different age classes. So that'll tell you how many stripers are in here. I asked Wayne one time how many stripers he thought was in Lake Powell. There's a fish, and he said somewhere between 10 and like 30 million. Oh, that one got off, or did he? No, that was still there, but it's a little fish. There's a fish. That was a good hit.
The technique we're using is called spooning. Basically, we're jigging these spoons right in the middle of the schools, or right on the bottom. Picking a spoon that glows or is the same size as the shad that the striper is chasing is very important. I picked up these 6 cents. Caught a few of them this morning. They did pretty good.
Yeah.
What I like about these is they've got a swivel head built into it, because you do want to swivel on these when you're jigging.
Yeah, you want to have a swivel on those. Gives the flutters pretty good. And
Yeah.
that way you don't get, with this swivel, you don't tangle up as bad.
Yeah, this 6 cents, something that I actually saw on wayneswords.net. Some of the guys there, really good information to get from people if you're trying to figure out where to go, what to use. People are really good with information on stripers.
It's a good fishery right now. There's a lot of fish here.
There he is. Got him. Oh, it's crappie. It's a good crappie. Oh, there's a different species. Oh, I lost him. Where's the net? Where's the net? Where's the net? Where's the net? He's right here. He's right here. Oh, I got him. Okay. As far as spooning, what do people need to know if they've never done it before? It's not a real big jerky action. It's just kind of a up and down.
Pop it up and let it flutter back down. Pop it up, let it flutter back down. Most of the time they'll hit it while it's fluttering back down. All of a sudden your line will stop and you set the hook.
What do you got? You got a walleye.
Walleye.
Man, we're just catching a bunch of different stuff. I love it.
That's a nice walleye too.
Good fish. Oh, jeez. That one about ripped it out of my hand. Kyle's on. Wow. I don't know what it is. I'm guessing it's nope, just a good striper. Got the school excited. So when we first got here, and the reason we stopped is Kyle had to pee. But there were some big fish here and some walleye, at least one. But now we're finding just a bunch of little guys. Not very big. An occasional 14-incher, so we know where there's big fish up further past the horn. That's where we're headed.
One of the first things to look for when trying to decide where to start trolling is grebes. Grebes dine on shad, just like the fish. Where you find grebes diving and feeding, you'll find shad. And where you find shad, you'll find stripers.
There's a fish. Kyle, grab that one. There's a fish. Nope, grab that one, the white one, yeah.
A lot of anglers like to troll 3 to 4 miles per hour for stripers.
Oh, I just doubled up.
But we found if we trolled a bit slower, say 2 miles an hour, we were picking up
Walleye. I got a walleye.
a few walleye as well.
It's a nice eye, isn't it? Beautiful eye. I'm impressed with the health of the fish this year.
Yep. The walleyes are chunks.
Yeah.
Some of the stripers are really good. Some of them are still getting there, but there's enough shad to keep fattening them up.
We are seeing a lot of balls.
There's a lot of shad.
Yeah. Oh. That just about came out. Oh, he got off. Nope, he's there. Oh, stripping line. Just powerful fish. Flicker minnows, they like those, don't they? Nice heavy fish. Okay, we're back in gear. A lot of people when they come down here don't know maybe what to use or what to even try. It's really similar to targeting wipers and walleye at Willard Bay.
It's basically exactly the same.
Yeah.
Our best luck this trip was been on this number 9 flicker minnow.
Yeah. Dives about
Around
15 to
20 feet. We've been out about 95 to 120 feet. This is a number 7 flicker minnow. That runs a little bit deeper, and then the last fish we've been catching have been on this flicker shad right here, which is a number 7 flicker shad, and that's been really, that just depends on the depth of where the fish are.
fish. Grab that rod. Tell me about this fishery in the winter. It's pretty good fishery. I mean, for nobody coming down here, I actually enjoy it better in the winter than I do in the summer when it comes to fishing.
Yeah, the fishing in the winter can be really good. I mean, you're going to have some really slow days. It's, you know, you have good days and slow days.
You got to work for them.
You got to work for them.
Yeah.
And, you know, sometimes they kind of scatter out quite a bit, and then you have to find a big school to be able to be successful on the stripers. Stripers are a lot of fun, and they're a lot better to eat in the wintertime than in the summer.
They're a lot easier to keep cool too, which
Keep them cool. They're healthy, you know, once they get through feeding on the shad. And it's just, they're good in the winter.
It was about 15 or so years ago that Wayne and the DWR went unlimited. That really made a difference.
It's made a difference, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy is they're actually utilizing anglers to control their numbers as best they can.
Yep, and they've had some success.
Well, that's a good one. Is he foul hooked? Oh no, he's right in the mouth. Good fish. They are a little bigger up here. Another thing with these lures is bring extra trebles. Make sure they're sharp, make sure they're hard. As you can see, this one's the one that was catching a lot of fish today, and yesterday I already lost one of the trebles. So yeah, hard hooks, sharp hooks, and bring extras because you will break them off. And pliers. Do not touch these fish without pliers. You'll get one into the barb. It won't feel good. Oh geez, that one about ripped it out of my hand. Well, a good time, guys. Brad, this will be good all the way through January for guys to get down here and do this.
Yep, it'll be good.
Yeah.
So.
Pick a warm day. We did not. But it wasn't that bad, other than last night and the 4 and 5 footers.
Yeah, other than last night. It was great.
Last night was a little precarious. Rough. We might have had about 100 gallons of water in this boat, but we got it out, had a good time. You do the same. Come down here, make some memories, and get some tasty fillets down at Lake Powell. I'm Adam Meikle, KSL Outdoors. We'll see you next weekend. Good night.